Today we're going to take a look at a Mesa Boogie cab clone. What's up guys, welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name's Taylor, and I do all sorts of guitar related stuff here on my channel. If that's something you enjoy, make sure to subscribe and click the bell notification icon so you don't miss any of my uploads. Also, while you're down there, click the like button, it really helps out. A few weeks back, I decided to buy a load box so that I can start including real amplifiers in my comparison videos. Now, I didn't know much about load boxes, and I was kind of overwhelmed by the amount of options that were out there. And mostly what I was looking for was just a box to take the load off the amplifier and pass the signal through to my computer so that way I could add an IR later in post. I found a Mesa Boogie cab clone for right around $100 and I decided to get it and try it out. Even though I know a lot of people have had bad experiences with the cab clone, I felt like that was mostly due to them trying to use the cab emulation from the cab clone, and I'm not doing that. I'm just passing the signal through so I can add an IR later in post. For this one, I'm using my Crank Rev 1 Plus. It has KT88s in it, and it's not a very high gain amplifier. I typically have to boost this amp to get like a really good metal tone out of it, but we're just gonna demo this thing straight into the amp, into the cab clone, and using the cabinet simulator in the cab clone, and then we'll also check out the cab clone with an IR added in post. So I thought it might be kind of fun to hook this thing up and give you guys a demo and find out if it's really as bad as people say it is. I mean, this thing has a really bad reputation, but you know, is it as bad as everyone says it is? Well, time to find out. Okay, so if everything is hooked up correctly here, haha, I kind of need to be plugged in. Okay, so let me explain all the controls here. You have a DI level, which is adjusting the volume going out. A phase switch if you want to switch the phase. A ground lift if you're getting like, you know, unwanted noise, although I don't find the ground lift to help out much. Here are the different types of cabinets you have. You have a vintage cabinet, an open back cabinet, and a closed back cabinet. So let's start with the vintage cabinet. This is what it sounds like. You know, it really doesn't sound that bad. Let's switch over to the open back cabinet and see what that one sounds like. That one sounds pretty good too. I don't really know why this thing gets so much hate. It doesn't sound bad at all. Okay, let's go to the closed back cabinet and see what that one sounds like. Yeah, man, I don't know. I think the speaker emulation sounds pretty decent on this. And considering I got this thing for about $100, I think the cost to performance ratio is really high. It's good when it's high, right? What I'm trying to say is I think my money was well spent. Okay, so you've heard what this does internally, but now let's see what it sounds like when you pass the signal through and you add an IR in post. Okay, let's hear what it sounds like. So I really prefer adding the IR here in post, especially since you can add any IR you want and get a plethora of different sounds versus the 3 cabinets that are built into the Cab Clone. But I really don't think the Cab Clone sounds that bad. And I know this thing gets like a ton of hate, and I also know that there are better products on the market, even the newer Cab Clone that Mesa just recently came out with. But to be honest with you, for, right around $100, this thing is doing exactly what I need it to do, and I think it's totally serving its purpose. The one thing that I do wish the Cab Clone had is an attenuator, so that way I could turn up the master on my amp and turn down the line out volume. So there's no way to really turn down the output out of this thing. And also what I've noticed is if you crank up the master on your amp and put a bigger load on the Cab Clone, the Cab Clone tends to get hot, and it's really not meant to handle amps at a high volume. I think it also says it in the manual that it's only meant to handle amps at like the volume that you would play them in if you were in a room plugged into a real cabinet. So to me, that's actually a bigger negative for the Cab Clone than the way it sounds. Alright guys, do you think that the hate that the Cab Clone gets is justified? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you like this video, please hit the like button and consider subscribing, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!